Texas A&M is moving on with an 84-82 overtime victory. They will face Arizona, who just beat BYU in the Sweet 16 this weekend. Hearts racing in San Antonio tonight. Texas A&M survives in overtime. 35 points from Jordan Nixon. She ties it. She wins it. Texas A&M moving on to the Sweet 16. Let's get you to our next game with Beth Mowins and Debbie Antonelli.
Welcome to our last second round game of the tournament. One spot left to fill in the Sweet 16 out of the Hemisphere region. It's UCLA and Texas. The winner will advance to face the 2-seed Maryland Sunday night on ESPN. South Carolina is the #1 seed. They will meet up with Georgia Tech. And welcome to our second round coverage. Beth Mowins along with Debbie Antonelli. We've got the Longhorns and the Bruins, Debbie. A couple of All-Americans to watch in Charlie Collier and Michaela Onyenwere.
We're in for a real treat if you love some offense. Both these players can fill it up and light up that scoreboard. And for Texas, it's Charlie Collier. She is fantastic around the rim. She is 6'5", can finish inside, plays the game on balance off 2 feet, can score left or right off of either shoulder, and very good at defending inside as well. She stretched her game outside the three-point line this year. 14 made threes, so she can pick and pop, and she can fill it up with 20 points a game. A double-double is her average. And then Michaela Onyenwere, she's a 6-foot senior. She can score as well off the bounce in the mid-range. She also can shoot the three. This is going to be a fun matchup. Both these players on the top of the scouting report for their respective defenses.
Onyenwere in the first round win over Wyoming dropped 25 on the Cowgirls. Collier had 23 in Texas opener against Bradley. Coming off a thriller just on the other side of the Alamo Dome that went to overtime, Jordan Nixon winning it for Texas A&M over Iowa State. So that has delayed our tip from a scheduled tee time of 9:06. The players had to wait around almost an extra half hour, and we are set to tip now 9:31 Eastern. And away we go. Burnt orange for the Longhorns, home whites for UCLA. This is the third time in the last 5 years they meet in the NCAA tournament. Each one bounced the other in a Sweet 16 matchup. Here are the Capital One starting lineups for the 6-seed Longhorns out of the Big 12 Conference. Joni Allen-Taylor, a scorer outside. Audrey Warren might be an X-factor. Critical, Debbie, for these guys to stay out of foul trouble. 17 foul outs on the season for those three key cogs.
Well, Texas has a little bit more depth than UCLA has, particularly up front, Beth.
The Capital One starting lineups joining Onyenwere is Charisma Osborne, a sophomore, all Pac-12 performer at 17 points per game. And there is Onyenwere up for the rebound and the putback.
Now I'm going to talk to you about Michaela Onyenwere, not just a scorer, but a tremendous rebounder with a great rebounding radius, which means she doesn't just rebound above her head. She can pursue the basketball on the offensive end, and that makes her very dangerous. You got to check her out.
Foul on the box out, and this might be #1 on Charlie Collier, the 6'5" junior from Mount Bellevue, Texas. Both she and Onyenwere projected top 10 picks. In fact, the WNBA mock draft on ESPN has Collier at #1.
Well, Charlie Collier has to have better discipline and stay out of foul trouble. She's so valuable to the Texas team and what they like to do on the, particularly on the offensive end.
Lauren Miller missed the gimme, and here comes Texas the other way. Baseline blocked by Natalie Cho, and a help ball will stay with the Longhorns.
You would think the team speed advantage would be on Texas's side. But UCLA does an excellent job of getting back in transition. Maybe send one to the glass early in the game. Probably send two later on, depending on how the tempo goes.
Taylor to Kyra Lambert, the grad transfer from Duke, off the mark. UCLA will try and push, and it's picked off by Warren.
The live ball turnover is a dangerous thing when Texas is able to play D, Beth, because there's, like I said, their team speed going the other way, and their conversion rate is very good.
Warren into the lane to the left side, won't go. And Onyenwere with another rebound. She will push in traffic. Both sides a little shaky. Shooting for the hoop to start.
Yeah, I don't know about that shot selection right there. Trying to take on a contested shot in transition against two players.
Footer good from Joanne Allen Taylor, the junior from Houston, who's been one of their most consistent players all year long for first-year head coach Vic Schaefer.
And when you're playing in a big game like this with so much on the line, sometimes you just got to get up and down the floor a couple times, get the sweat going, lather up, and then look to be effective off the bounce. But Texas right now is playing off the bounce on the offensive end, and that's the way they like to play.
Runner is good. Onyenwere coming out aggressive, attacking the rim.
The one thing that Charlie Collier and Michaela Onyenwere are used to is playing in a crowd. You know, all teams are trying to make it difficult for them, trying to turn them into a passer, especially if Charlie Collier catches it on the block. She only has 13 assists on the season. You want to make her pass it.
And a blocking foul called out top on the collision that was off the ball.
If somebody's on the floor in burnt orange, it's usually Audrey Warren. I mean, she sets up right there, and Onyenwere just plows through her. I'm not really sure how that's a blocking call.
Yeah, I think Vic Schaefer would agree with you. In his first year back in his hometown of Austin, Texas, tremendous success at Mississippi State. The Bulldogs to a couple of national championship games.
But he's back home. He was born in Breckenridge Hospital, right across the street from the arena. And he's happy to be home, and he is a hard worker. He has validated the system he's putting in place by getting his team to this point. And I'm telling you, Beth, if you had walked into practice on the first day, I'm not sure you would have thought this could have been a potential Sweet 16 team. But that's the kind of coaching job that Vic Schaefer and his team, his staff have done.
On this 10th anniversary of the Texas A&M National Championship, Vic was an assistant for Gary Blair, and just heard the roar when they came back out on the court of the buzzer beater for the Aggies to advance to the Sweet 16.
Jordan Nixon once again for the Aggies. I think she's got 3, if maybe 4 game winners on the season. 2 against Arkansas, the one today, and I believe there's another one.
Collier fouled. That's her first shot attempt of the evening as you get a look at Corey Close, now in her 10th season with the Bruins. Over 200 wins, 4 straight trips to the Sweet 16 and an Elite 8.
One of the fun facts for me about Corey is she was a 4-year starter at Point. I think she's a brilliant offensive coach. She sees the game through that lens. She averaged 9.3 assists her senior year at UC Santa Barbara. That's addition right there.
Than the late, great John Wooden. Has terrific stories to tell about Coach Wooden and a lot of the wisdom that he imported on Corey in her younger days. UCLA women have never been to the Final Four as an NCAA team. They did win the 1978 AIAW National Championship with Billy Moore at the helm. And the great Annie Myers, Denise Curry, Anita Ortega.
Shout out to all of those women who we know are watching their Bruins.
Yep.
And if you've been to a game at UCLA, certainly not this year, but in years past, Denise Curry's there every game.
Off the window for Osmore. And all Curry did in her career was drop over 3,000 points. Onyenwere, by the way, with her buckets here early on, has moved into the top 5 all time. Pass picked off by Lindsay Corsaro. 3-on-2 break. Osborne, offensive foul. Taken by Warren, and a 2-point Texas lead.
The NCAA Women's Championship is presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet? And in part by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Only pay for what you need.
Capital One Saver Card, baby. 4% cash back on dining and entertainment.
Rewarding Chuck for dining and entertainment?
That's all he does.
That's like rewarding me every time I use a curse word.
It's like rewarding me every time I say hello, friends.
Like rewarding me for every time I plunder.
Hey, Garth, thanks for the goat cheese.
Don't thank me, thank her.
This goat cheese is from that goat?
What's in your wallet?
Whoa, hold up there, partner. That's my line now.
Tell him, Sam. Tell him who's the GOAT.
Not everybody wants the same thing. That's why I go with Liberty Mutual. They customize my car insurance so I only pay for what I need. Because I do things a bit differently. What, teddy bears? What, teddy bears, Hick?
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Want to try some of my Mountain Dew Zero Sugar?
Try.
It is tasty. And just as good as the original without any sugar. Be careful.
He's more careful.
I'm thinking this whole more thing is off. So I'm trying to do more, less, and less, more. Now, if only I can get into this hammock without spilling my Premier.
90 calories, 2.6 grams carbs. That's Corona Premier.
These are the people who work on the front lines. They need a network that's built right. That's why we created Verizon Frontline, the advanced network and technology for first responders. Built on America's most reliable network. Built for real interoperability and built for 5G. It's America's #1 network in public safety. Verizon Frontline, built right for first responders.
I can't help it if I'm popping, see them watch like it's outrageous how this flavor got them shook like.
Hold up.
Work it out. I hit it back with a brand new style. Bring it up into the floor, get wild. We turning up all the way on the down like baby, I'm fabulous.
Limitless possibilities. The boldly new 2021 Nissan Kicks.
And free, and free, and free, and free, free, and free, and free, free, and free, and free, and free, and free.
That's right. TurboTax Free Edition is free. Free, 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 free.
Every champion begins with a dream.
Baylor Lady Bears are back at the top of college basketball.
Our dream is now. NCAA Women's Basketball Championship.
Welcome back to the NCAA Championship, presented by Capital One. Just moments ago on the South Court, Jordan Nixon in overtime at the buzzer. And Texas A&M comes all the way back to beat Iowa State and advance to the Sweet 16. We got two courts in the Alamo Dome. Holly Rowe is with us right now. She was just over on the other side watching that unfold. Holly?
Yes, I was working that game, and, it was such an incredible game. Iowa State controlled the entire game. Texas A&M didn't get their first lead until the overtime period. And Jordan Nixon, after the game, she was so emotional. She was crying, sobbing. They brought her over for the interview, and I said, what were you thinking? Why are you so emotional? She said, because my team trusts me. Our program is all about trust, and they trusted me in that moment, a new career high, and she played every second of the game. Unbelievable performance by her, and also Ashley Jones in a losing effort. 32 points, a new school record, 18 rebounds.
Thank you, Holly. Yeah, all 45 minutes in that game. So Texas A&M advances. They will face Arizona. There are 15 spots filled, Debbie. We have the last one advancing to the Sweet 16.
Jordan Nixon and Gary Blair trusted her. Did not call his last time out. He had a transition opportunity. Didn't want to let Bill Finley have a chance to set up his defense. When you've hit game winners before, you can trust a point guard with the ball in their hands late game.
And you know, when it comes to the Horns and the Aggies, you just saw the Aggies win on the other side. They are itching to take care of business here in Burnt Orange. Of course, Baylor has already advanced as well. 3 of the 4 programs from the Lone Star State that have won a national championship, the other being Cheryl Swoop's great Texas Tech team with Marcia Sharp back in '93. And Debbie, I think rumor has it Jody Conrad's in the house tonight, right? The longtime head coach for the Horns.
He hasn't seen the Horns play in person all year because of COVID. Last March was their Coach Conrad. The last March was the last time she was in the building. So it's a special treat for all of us that Jody Conrad is in the house.
One of the legends and the first NCAA team to win a national championship undefeated, led by freshman Clarissa Davis back in 1986. Of course, a lot of hype about some big-named freshmen in this year's tournament. Everybody chomping at the bit to watch Paige Beckers and UConn take on Caitlin Clark and Iowa in the Sweet 16 this weekend.
Well, I love offense, and both those players can absolutely fill it up. If you were just playing one-on-one and it was Caitlin Clark and Paige Beckers all game, I'd pay for that too.
Onion Wede on the run. She's got 6 to lead all scorers here early on.
UCLA, Beth, is very scout-driven in their defense. They will play some zone. A lot of teams this season in the Big 12 have played Texas zone because Texas doesn't shoot it that well. But they're excellent in their dribble drive.
Another takeaway. Emily Bessois, the 6'4" freshman out of Munich, Germany, onto the floor here. And then Texas will take it right back. All 4 NIT quarterfinals come to ESPN Networks tomorrow, beginning with Mississippi State Richmond at 6 Eastern on ESPN2. You can visit NCAA.com, the home for all 90 NCAA championships. It's been a good tournament so far for the Pac-12, of course, on the men's and the women's side. UCLA trying to be the 4th Pac-12 women's team to get in. There are 4 Pac-12 men's teams in the Sweet 16.
I talked to Corey Close today, and she said she and Mick Cronin, the head coach for UCLA, they text before and after every game for each other. Very supportive, and of course, they watched UCLA make that incredible run that they're on right now in the men's tournament. The teams are very well connected.
Yeah.
Head coaches are as well.
A little bit of a sloppy start to this one. Turnovers outnumbering the baskets through the first 8 minutes. Charlie Collier, by the way, without a field goal attempt in the first quarter. Another takeaway. Easy lay-in for Kyra Lambert. Boy, it's so good to see her healthy again and out there on the court from her days at Duke. You see the knee brace there. Debbie missed 2 years of her career and fought all the way back and now playing in the postseason.
Well, she's a double Dookie, undergrad and master's degree, and she's getting a master's degree at Texas right now. Vic Schaefer said he wished he had her a little bit longer. She has really adjusted from one playing style in 5 years at Duke to the playing style that he's asked her to do here, which is a lot different in style than what she played at Duke. Just more athletic, more aggressive, more defensive oriented in the man-to-man.
Deep 3 is good. Alan Taylor knocks it down.
That's the one player for Texas that you have to know where she is outside the three-point line. She is their best three-point shooter. That's her 37th made three of the season.
And that is the first three for either side so far in the game. Both sides have come to defend, Debbie.
Overplay, up the line, aggressive. That's why UCLA now with 6 turnovers, not handling that Texas defensive pressure very well at all in the first quarter.
It is the best turnover margin in the Big 12 this year for the Longhorns at +5 per game.
When you go against Texas, Beth, because of their pressure, they play up the line, one pass away, or they're right on the line. You have to have your pressure package in. Dribble entries, high post entries, ball fakes, shot fakes around the rim. And that's something that
may have been a fatigue shot right there from Collier.
Those are habits you have to have created already in your system. You can't show up against Texas and be, all of a sudden try to prepare for that. And that's something that Corey Close has in her system.
Final seconds of the quarter. Osborne off the cross, the spin, the kick out. Onyenwere can't get that one to go. Good start for the Longhorns and a lead at the end of one.
We made USAA insurance for members like Martin, an Air Force veteran made of doing what's right, not what's easy. So when a hailstorm hit, USAA reached out before he could even inspect the damage.
That's how you do it right.
USAA insurance is made just the way Martin's family needs it. With hassle-free claims, he got paid before his neighbor even got started. Because doing right by our members, that's what's right. USAA. What you're made of, we're made for.
I can't help it if I'm popping, see them watch like it's outrageous how this flavor got them shook like.
Hold up.
Work it out. I hit it back with a brand new style. Bring it up into the floor, get wild. We turning up all the way on the down like baby, I'm fabulous.
Limitless possibilities. The boldly new 2021 Nissan Kicks.
Welcome to Stormy Heights, where the windows are always Pella. Pella's fiberglass is the strongest material for windows and patio doors. The fiberglass frame is even scratch and dent resistant. Pella Windows, tested for extremes, designed for your home.
Number 32, Kyle Hornsby.
Inside the 30. Touchdown. Michaela spurs it. An incredible finish by Hall.
The NCAA and its member schools offer nearly 500,000 college athletes a path to go pro in something other than sports. Learn more at ncaa.org.
Here in Western Washington, your Toyota dealer can get you ready for those summer road trips with $1,000 customer cash on the stylish new 2020 Prius. Or lease this all-wheel drive Prius for $279 a month. Today, tomorrow, Toyota.
Script is my time to listen.
I can listen at home, in the car. I can listen in the shower.
It's a way for me to stay informed, get entertained, explore the world.
I mean, it's all right there.
I listen while I work, right before I go to sleep.
And when I can't fall asleep.
Scribd lets me read more. It lets me discover new things.
Scribd is ebooks, audiobooks,
magazines, podcasts. Scribd, it's awesome.
Go to Scribd.com and try it free for 30 days.
Got a rat, got a rat, got a rat.com, got a rat, got a rat, got a rat.com, got a rat, got a rat, got a rat.com, got a rat, got a rat.com.
Get rid of your rat problem. Call Eastside Exterminators now. As an essential business, we're here for your pest control needs.
Down to me, step up on the scene and they bow down to me. I'll have the queen, I'm royalty. Watch me put in work, do it so royally.
Another beauty feed and one. Beckers to Nelson Adoda.
Clark behind the back, Sonata with the finish.
I'll have the queen, I'm royalty. Watch me put in work, do it so royally.
Oh, one of the most highly anticipated matchups in quite some time in the NCAA tournament, a Sweet 16 showdown. 1 o'clock Eastern on ABC Saturday to kick off our quadruple header of coverage. Friends, teammates with USA Basketball, big fans of one another's games, and now we get to all enjoy watching them compete together on the same floor, Iowa and UConn. Holly?
Hey guys, I actually had a chance to talk with Caitlin Clark and Paige Beckers today. We've got a fun feature planned for them in that game, and they've never played against each other. They both said we've been on the same courts in AAU tournaments at different times, but we've never gone head-to-head, so they're looking forward to it, very excited. As we see Onyenwere with a nice basket. And
and a player down here for Texas.
She collapsed very awkwardly.
The injured player here is Audrey Warren, the junior from Fort Worth.
Audrey's been in and out all season, Beth, with concussion protocol issues. And she's someone who's had many in her high school career and some issues at Texas. And, oh, she takes one right on the chin.
Oh. Coach Vic Schaefer there with the athletic trainers. And they will take their time here. Helping Audrey over to the side.
That's a tough, competitive kid.
Substitution number 23, Natalie Jones.
So she will get some attention there from the athletic trainers and the doctors. Support from her teammates. And we will resume early in this second quarter in a 13-10 game. The winner to the Sweet 16. And the matchup with the Maryland Terrapins, the 2 seed in the Hemisphere region. And Lauren Ebo, who replaced Warren in the lineup, number 1 in orange with the attempt.
So Charlie Collier, 1 attempt outside the arc, nothing in the paint. And UCLA, although they've turned the ball over, this is still a 1-possession game. They haven't played well, but they've limited Charlie Collier.
Onyenwere well short. They have really had a tough time getting looks against this Texas defense.
Beth, I'm not a big fan of the ball getting stuck and taking contested shots. If you move the ball and you get a couple sides, you will find an open shooter.
Ebo, an and one opportunity. And it would appear she is heading back towards the locker room area for Texas. Audrey Warren. And got inadvertently hit on the chin.
I'm sort of surprised the officials didn't go look at that one. Usually anytime there's contact, they take a peek.
A 6-point Texas lead. Into Corsero. She's got to kick it back out to Osborne. Onyenwere settles for the outside jumper. And Debbie, it appears like they are really having a rough time creating some space to get their shots off right now.
Yeah, Onyenwere has taken back-to-back jumpers with Charlie Collier in her face. And typically, you would think she would put it on the deck and go by her. Onyenwere very capable of getting to the free throw line.
8 points on 4 of 11 shooting. She's 0 for 3 from deep.
UCLA showing some zone. They will play about 14% of their defensive possessions in zone, Beth, according to Synergy. And I think it's a good change right now at this point in the game by Corey Close, because you got to take away the interior and make Texas hit some jump shots.
They are looking for a spark right now, are the Bruins. Miller will attack Ebo, and Lauren snags the miss.
Well, Ebo has done a nice job of running rim to rim and being effective in the paint.
6'4" junior, Washington, D.C.
She was a player that was able to become eligible immediately. As Charlie Collier sticks the triple, she was eligible immediately when the NCAA granted everyone to be eligible. She's a transfer from Penn State.
Collier's first basket forces the timeout for UCLA. Horns with the 9-point edge.
Maybe it's only a feeling, only a dream, only a day trip that lasts long after sundown. Maybe it's only a weekend or a moment, but sometimes those only things are the only things that matter. The Jeep Grand Cherokee. There's only one.
Now get 0% financing for 72 months on select 2021 Jeep Grand Cherokee models. Plus, get no additional charge maintenance with the Jeep Wave Customer Care Program.
Is mealtime a struggle? Introducing Ore-Ida Potato Pay, where Ore-Ida Golden Crinkles are your crispy currency to pay for bites of this with this. When kids won't eat dinner, potato pay them too. Ore-Ida, win at mealtime.
I'm thinking this whole more thing is off. So I'm trying to do more, less, and less, more. Now, if only I can get into this hammock without spilling my Premier.
90 calories, 2.6 grams carbs. That's Corona Premier.
T-Mobile is the leader in 5G. We also believe in putting people first by treating them right. So we're upping the benefits without upping the price. Introducing Magenta Max. Now with unlimited premium data that can't slow down based on how much smartphone data you use. Plus, get Netflix on us and taxes and fees included. You won't find this with the other guys. In fact, you'll pay more and get less. Right now, pay zero cost to switch. And bring your phone, we'll pay it off. Only at T-Mobile.
Want to try some of my Mountain Dew Zero Sugar? Try. It is tasty. And just as good as the original without any sugar. Be careful.
He's not careful.
In a State Farm commercial, anything can happen.
Is that Jake from State Farm?
Things are gonna go surprisingly great, like State Farm's surprisingly great rates.
What's up, family?
Uncle Cliff!
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
And free, down a better down, hit free here, free wire down, get free down, get free down, down, make it free. Hit free here and free down, down, free, make it free. Free.
That's right. TurboTax Free Edition is free. Free.
It's Velveeta versus the other guys. Clearly, nothing melts like Velveeta.
Formula One is back.
Here in the studio, Maria Taylor, Rebecca Lobo, Andy Landers, we're coming back to you at half. But, Coach, what have you seen from Texas and UCLA so far?
I've seen Texas want to get the ball to Collier, nothing new. But their guards have stepped up because they can't Guards have made shots.
Interested to see if Audrey Warren's going to come back. She is the heart and soul of that team on the defensive end. All right, at halftime, we're going to run back that Texas A&M win over Iowa State, and make sure you tune in to In the Studio, presented by AT&T 5G at the half.
Thank you, Maria. 19-10, Texas with the lead over UCLA. And how about a big day for the Big Ten? A big tournament, a record 4 teams into the Sweet 16. And Sesame Street, this one for us, Debbie. What ties them all together? What is the common theme? Maryland, Indiana, Iowa, and Michigan.
Great scoring guards.
Of course.
They can score. All those teams can score. And when I talked to Brenda Fries today after she put 100 on the board, she said, I said, you know, what am I going to say about Maryland after talking to you today? She said, just tell everybody we're going to be ready.
Oh,
we'll be ready.
Well, they'll be ready for the winner of this one. The high-scoring Terrapins, over 90 a game, 100 almost every other day. And, of course, when you talk about scores, Michigan has Naz Hillman, the Big Ten's Player of the Year. And the Indiana Hoosiers with a win today to get in. Oh, by the way, Caitlin Clark and company at Iowa. Don't forget, on the men's side, March Madness into the Sweet 16 on TBS and CBS this weekend. 4 Pac-12 teams, 3 of the 4 number ones are still alive, and 4 double-digit seeds still in the men's tournament. All the number ones won yesterday, so the top 4 have advanced with relative ease so far.
I mean, look at Texas' defensive habits. High hands, everybody moves their feet, they're connected, they get a contested shot. Their D is really locked in on UCLA. And it's not a surprise if you've known or studied anything that Vic Schaefer has done and what he's put on the floor in the past and the way he was able to build Mississippi State into a national contender in his 8 years there with 2 title games that he participated in.
How about the impact for Lauren Ebo replacing the injured Charlie Collier as Collier makes her way back onto the sideline here, out of the locker room area, or excuse me, Audrey Warren, pardon me. Good to see a smile on her face as she returns. Holly?
Well, guys, as you mentioned, Audrey Warren does have a history of concussions, but I was told earlier this season that they've really worked with her to make sure she's always wearing that mouth guard. It looks like they have been treating something to do with her mouth. We'll get an official update in just a moment, but mouth guards can be a very important thing to prevent that, especially when you're getting hit from up and under your chin.
Well, no question about that. I mean, you want to make sure you protect your mouth and your jaw, and she is always sticking her nose in it, and that's the way she plays. But, you know, Audrey, you heard Rebecca in the studio say she's the heart and soul. I mean, she's their best rotator defensively. She's their best help defender. She draws the most charges on the team. I mean, she understands on the defensive end the scout that's required to play the style.
Holy cow. Look at this from Celeste Taylor with a lay-in and then a steal. A 10-0 run right now for Texas. It started with Warren. Everybody else has picked it up for the Longhorns. They have all the juice right now. And an injured player for UCLA off the ball. That is Chantel Horvat, who did not play in the first round game due to a foot injury. And that appears to be what is hobbling her again here. How about that play by Taylor, leaping over Onyenwere?
Onyenwere has been known to handle the ball up the floor. I mean, you don't have to have your point guard for UCLA handle, and especially, Beth, when you're going against a defense like Texas, you don't always want your primary ball handler to initiate the offense, and it just looks like Onyenwere slipped, and Taylor took advantage.
What a defensive performance so far. 8 takeaways for Texas. They have held UCLA to 5 of 20 shooting. Natalie Cho trying to beat the shot clock. Barely touched iron.
Another contested deep jumper.
Alan Taylor. 15-footer, got it.
Yeah, drop coverage on that ball screen by UCLA. An open 15-footer coming off the screen. You got to knock it down when you get to the nail.
Run. It's 5.5 minutes since the last UCLA points. Onyenwere blocked by Collier. Miller won't go. Bruins are 1 of 8 here in the second. Alan Taylor.
UCLA can't get anything easy. They can't get into the offensive glass. They're not able to get anything in transition. They got to really work on this end of the floor. Now, one of the things that Corey Close likes to do is invert her guards to the block. The last 2 trips down the floor, they've tried to post up on the inside with their perimeter players. And they do have size and that advantage. That's one way to see if you can get something on the glass and get something on the board. But Corey Close right now is digging deep into the playbook.
Looks like we have a stoppage. That is Charlie Collier that appears to have some blood on her legs. So while they tend to Collier, here is what is ahead once we fill this final spot for the Sweet 16. Quadruple header Saturday, quadruple header Sunday, and then double headers Monday and Tuesday night for the Elite Eight. The national semifinals Friday, April 2nd, and the championship game in primetime Sunday night, April 4th on ESPN. Real excited to have ABC as a part of our coverage this year. That is a first for the women's tournament. It's all in one place, the great state of Texas. And the Sweet 16 all will be on the 2 courts here inside the Alamo Dome.
Nothing but positive from the coaches that I've spoken to about being in one site. They have really enjoyed their experience thus far in San Antonio in terms of competition. It's been great to watch. It's fun to cover. And it's only going to get better moving forward from here because the Sweet 16 is going to be on fire in San Antonio.
Onyenwere coming off the screen inside and ends the drought that had reached over 6 minutes.
Beth, when you're struggling like this offensively, like UCLA, you got to be really good in your situational offense. So that baseline out of bounds flex cut gets Onyenwere open. So they got to be good ATOs, which is after timeouts, blobs and slobs. Your baseline out of bounds and your sideline out of bounds.
Trap in the corner. UCLA's defense is picking up as well. And a block inside by Bessois. Corsaro, nobody stopped ball. She'll take it the distance. Charisma Ortiz, number 3, has come into the game for Texas.
I like this zone. I think this has been a good coaching adjustment by Corey Close. Slow the rhythm of Texas down a little bit, make them play outside, keep them out of the paint. And that's
triple from Taylor.
That's okay.
She's got 9. And in a first half where Charlie Collier has been quiet offensively, the others are picking up the slack. Miller fouled by Ebo.
I mean, this is a tough shot right here. A contested shot from outside the arc. They're going to make some of those. but you still play the percentages of playing the zone right now against Texas. You take away their dribble drive action, you take away their rub action, and you make their tempo slow down offensively while you try to figure it out on the offensive end.
Lauren Miller with the free throw here. That is the first for the Bruins in the half. She's 2 for 2. They do not have a triple, and they continue to have more turnovers than baskets. Nothing's been easy against the Longhorn D.
You can hear the communication on the floor from the players as Charlie Collier is that baseline runner.
Taylor, same spot, same result. A dozen points.
UCLA shooting 23% from the floor in the first half. Their average is 40, which isn't great, but this is exceptionally poor.
Largest lead for Texas, and they will add to it. Ebo, 5 points off the bench.
Texas is getting whatever they want offensively. UCLA's defense is not dictating any of Texas' shots.
They settle for the three. Lambert initiates and takes the skip pass. Taylor, she's got the hot hand, gets immediate attention. Alan Taylor blocked. Lambert got it. Able to clean everything up right now for Texas. Final seconds of the half. Onyenwere gets the shot off. No good. All Longhorns in the first half as the 6th seed goes for the upset of the 3-seed Bruins. Celeste Taylor, a dozen points with a couple of threes to lead the way for Texas. Ebo helping out off the bench. And it's time for the AT&T 5G in the studio.
Balanced player for them, and on the other side, UCLA, they just got to shoot it better. Texas defense had something to do with it, but you know, when Michaela Onyenwere doesn't find some uncontested shots and no one else can help her and they don't get to the free throw line, it's not a good recipe for playing well.
Look at that.
I expect them to be much better, Beth.
She's 5 for 14. The rest of the team 1 for 14 from the floor. And a 21-point Texas advantage.
So Charisma Osborne could have something to do with it as well, Beth. She had 3 first-half fouls, and she only played 12 minutes. So I expect her to be more in sync and help her team get in sync in the second half.
We've got an update, too, on Audrey Warren, who has yet to return to the floor. She was back out there on the sideline after getting hit in the face in the first half. Holly?
Yes, that's right. Audrey was she bit through her tongue. They said it's not too bad, thankfully. They took her back to check her out, run her through some concussion protocols, and she cleared all of that as well. She should be able to come back out onto the floor at some point. You see her over there standing up, cheering. She seems to be in good spirits, and hopefully they'll get her back out there.
Yeah, one of their starters, the junior, was having a real breakout season, a key cog for Texas. Natalie Cho pulls up in the lane, hard off the back iron, grabs the miss, spins to the left and puts it up and in.
Getting extra possessions, not turning the ball over. UCLA is +6 on the rebounding margin on the season, almost +6 in their turnover margin. Not so far today.
Well, UCLA definitely coming out of that locker room a little more fired up. Let's see if Texas can match the intensity. Always a challenge when you come back out of the locker room with a big lead.
And when I mentioned situational offense, situational defense really important for UCLA right now as well. So they've got to execute defensively against Texas, running some sets in those situations.
Lambert's 3-0. Onyenwere with the rebound, her fourth. Weaves her way towards the rim and draws the foul. That may be on Collier. If so, her second.
This is a good sign from Michaela Onyenwere. Now, she didn't have numbers, but she's being aggressive, and this is her first trip to the free throw line. She needs to get to the free throw line probably 4 or 5 times here in the second half.
3 times this season she has hit the 30-point mark, one of those coming against Stanford in the Pac-12 final. Another against arch rival USC in the regular season finale. It's really carried a heavy load for UCLA, and it will be even heavier here in this second half to try and keep their season alive. Whistle underneath off the ball. Tune in Friday when the Men's Ice Hockey Championship gets underway in Bridgeport at 1 Eastern on ESPN2 and the ESPN app. It's Wisconsin and Bemidji State in the regional semis. Visit NCAA.com. It's the home for all 90 NCAA championships. Sweet 16 coverage for the women's basketball. Saturday, 4 games. Sunday, 4 games from the 2 courts here inside the Alamo Dome. Celeste Taylor drops another one, back up to a 20-point edge.
I really thought UCLA would attack the rim a little bit more. I'm anticipating that here in the second half. See if they can get downhill off the bounce.
Opportunity for Osborne, and she pulls up and tries the 15-footer, Debbie, instead of the blow-by of the big girl.
There are some serious head-hunting screens taking place out here. Like, if you want to get open, set a good screen. Dribble handoff right here. Lauren Miller sets a head-hunting screen. And she gets Osborne wide open. Yes, curl that and get to the rim.
Yeah.
Floater at the logo. Well, there's no logo in the lane, but usually there is.
Where it usually is.
You know what I mean.
There's no points in the paint tonight either, but we'll still call them that. The shellac on the veneer. And one, Onyenwere.
Yeah, we're going to have a game. Now, if you're thinking that this is going to be a game that is going to be a blowout, I don't think that's going to happen here, because I think UCLA has got enough offensive weaponry, if you will, and enough different variety of players off the bounce that they can exploit some matchups if they are patient and move the ball.
And one of their matchups, Debbie, just got a whole lot better. Collier is out with her 3rd personal foul. The All-American and projected top 10 draft pick sidelined right now for Texas.
You know what, today I watched the Texas-Baylor game in the Big 12 tournament because she got 2 early fouls in the first half, and I wanted to see what Texas looked like playing at a high level without her. And they did very well moving the ball without her. They get into their dribble drive right here where they go into a late ball screen, inside 10 on the shot clock.
And the foul's going to be on Natalie Cho for wrapping up Audrey Warren. Good to see that she is back out on the floor after the injury in the first half. On the inbound, Warren with the layup.
That's called a scoring cut. You score, you cut to score.
Onyenwere fouled on the drive.
I mean, she just flat out cuts hard off that screen, cuts to the ball to score. That's the way you do it.
Yep. She just picked up her second foul. We touched on it at the top. The one thing that can bring them down quickly are foul problems for Collier and Warren. They have both fouled out of 7 games this year. Onyenwere with 17 of their 23 points for UCLA.
She didn't shoot any free throws in the first half, and this is already her 3rd trip to the free throw line in the 3rd quarter. That's what I'm talking about, Bev. She has to be aggressive off the bounce.
Well, they've scored more points here in the first 3.5 minutes of this 3rd quarter than they did the entire 1st quarter and 2nd quarter. Taylor finds a seam. Ebo kept it alive, and Taylor's fouled by Cho. That'll be the 2nd on Natalie. Ebo's getting touches that have led to some very good things for Texas.
She has had some impactful minutes, that's for sure. And she didn't let somebody box her out. She stayed after it.
Very solid 14 minutes for her. Celeste Taylor, her first trip to the free throw line. 14 points, 5 rebounds for the sophomore out of Valley Stream, New York, former New York State Player of the Year. Saw another New Yorker, Jordan Nixon at Texas A&M with the buzzer beater in overtime earlier tonight to get the Aggies into the Sweet 16 over Iowa State. Hard screen sends Taylor to the deck. She bounces back up, tries to get the loose ball. And oh boy, if this is on Warren, that's going to be 3.
Another good screen. A hard roll to the rim. That's what Lauren Miller does. Look, she's telling Michaela Onyenwere, shoot it.
And that is the 3rd foul on Audrey Warren. So the 2 bigs in a little bit of trouble as she stays on the floor. A bucket for the Bruins. Lauren Miller. Here's your improved scoring, Debbie. New attitude here in the 3rd. Coast to coast, right side for the lay-in. Osborne's got it.
Yeah,
and a little pep in the step right now for UCLA.
It's time for Charisma Osborne and Michaela Onyenwere. If they're going to dig back in, they have to be the 2 that take the majority of the shots right now. And she is a terrific downhill guard.
Taylor rattles that one in.
See, I don't know why you're overplaying, taking a risk at trying to get that steal, because now you force your team to have to rotate and you allow her to get to the elbow.
Osborne fouled on the 3 ball. Free throws coming up when we come back.
The NCAA Women's Championship, presented by Capital One, is brought to you by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Only pay for what you need.
I can't help it if I'm popping, see them watch like it's outrageous how this flavor got them shook like. Hold up. Work it out. I hit it back with a brand new style. Bring it up into the floor, get wild. We turning up all the way on the down like baby, I'm fabulous.
Limitless possibilities. The boldly new 2021 Nissan Kicks.
Want to try some of my Mountain Dew Zero Sugar? Try. It is tasty. And just as good as the original without any sugar. But be careful.
He's a little careful.
It's Velveeta versus the other guys. Clearly, nothing melts like Velveeta.
T-Mobile is the leader in 5G. We also believe in putting people first by treating them right. So we're upping the benefits without upping the price. Introducing Magenta Max. Now with unlimited premium data that can't slow down based on how much smartphone data you use. Plus, get Netflix on us and taxes and fees included. You won't find this with the other guys. In fact, you'll pay more and get less. Right now, pay zero cost to switch. And bring your phone, we'll pay it off. Only at T-Mobile.
I'm thinking this whole more thing is off. So I'm trying to do more, less, and less, more. Now, if only I can get into this hammock without spilling my Premier.
90 calories, 2.6 grams carbs. That's Corona Premier.
We made USAA insurance for members like Martin, an Air Force veteran made of doing what's right, not what's easy. So when a hailstorm hit, USAA reached out before he could even inspect the damage.
That's how you do it right.
USAA insurance is made just the way Martin's family needs it. With hassle-free claims, he got paid before his neighbor even got started. Because doing right by our members, that's what's right. USAA. What you're made of, we're made for.
Stipe Miocic, Francis Ngannou. The rematch is upon us. One of the greatest of all time. Francis Ngannou is coming.
It's a bad day for dreaming.
This telecast is copyrighted by the NCAA for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or any picture, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NCAA's consent is prohibited.
Well, coming up on NBA Friday, presented by State Farm, a doubleheader for you. Celtics-Bucks at 7:30, followed by Hawks and Warriors. As you check out the night skyline of the home of the San Antonio Spurs here in San Antonio and the Alamo Dome site for the Women's Sweet 16, Elite 8, and Final Four. So some of the Spurs, Debbie, were repping their favorite female players the other day at their game. DeJounte Murray with the Becky Hammon from Colorado State. Now one of the Spurs assistant coaches. DeMar DeRozan showed up with little Cheryl Miller, Reggie's sister, and Rudy Gay, the UConn connection with Lobo's number 50 jersey, Holly Rowe.
Kind of a fun story that comes full circle. Rebecca Lobo saw that and she was so touched. She actually chose number 50 in the very beginning because she was such a David Robinson fan. So kind of comes full circle to the Admiral here in the Spurs home. And I just love that they did. Becky Hammond's also been very visible on social media supporting the women here in San Antonio. So a lot of love from the Spurs.
Yeah, getting set. Hard to believe, Debbie. The 25th anniversary season of the WNBA coming up this summer.
Yeah. Commissioner Kathy Engelbert has done a fantastic job with great plans for the 25th anniversary, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Free agency has changed a lot about the league, and there's a lot of players in new places. It's going to be outstanding, including Candace Parker, who's in Chicago. That's the one I'm looking forward to watching.
It's a new ownership, too. Renee Montgomery, a part of the Dreams ownership, and out in Las Vegas, Mark Davis, the Raiders owner, taking care of business now with the Las Vegas Aces. There's Lindsay Corsaro for UCLA. They've been down by as many as 21. They started to make a run at them here in the third. Texas trying to put the brakes on it. Bruins have yet to dial up a three-pointer. Off balance, off glass.
Boy, the matchup with Warren and Onyenwere has a lot of contact off the ball. We'll keep an eye on that the next time down the floor.
Warren continues to play with 3 fouls. Charlie Collier continues to sit with 3 fouls for Texas.
Well, and Warren's playing the 4 position. When they go to this small lineup, she goes to that, quote, power forward spot. Basically, they've got 4 guards on the floor.
Onyenwere with 20 points. There just has not been a whole lot of help. Charisma Osborne is just 1 for 6 shooting. Onyenwere tries to split the defense and charges into Ebo. And now that's the third on Michaela.
Ebo nimble on their feet outside the restricted area.
Onyenwere will check out, just under 3 to go in the third. Warren lost the handle, and Cho got a hand on it. Is that Shannon Perry-LaBeouf, their assistant coach over there? Tony Noonan and Tasha Brown, the other assistants. Shot clock's winding down. Lambert. No, and that did not touch iron. Shot clock violation.
We're getting to a point where UCLA can't have very many empty possessions. You know, they've got to come down and stay aggressive. Look to get downhill. Continue trying to get to the free throw line. And without Onyenwere on the floor, the scoring's got to come from Charisma Osborne right here. She's got to look and seek shots.
And we saw Louisville earlier today. What was the deficit, Debbie? I think 18 points down to Northwestern. They were able to rally behind the play of their terrific freshmen, Haley Van Lith and Olivia Cochran. The 2 seed survived against Northwestern with a big rally. We've seen Georgia Tech. Big comeback for the Rec as well. They are into the Sweet 16.
You know, Beth, we were talking about freshmen earlier with Paige Beckers and Caitlin Clark. Angel Reese from Maryland led them in scoring today, 19. And then you mentioned it just there. Haley Van Lith and Olivia Cochran, the 2 freshmen for Jeff Walsh, were the 2 players that had the big games, including a double-double for Olivia Cochran. So the freshmen in the tournament are outstanding.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun. This is great. I mean, they've all got big game experience because they've played in tough schedule and power leagues. So they've been tested and they're ready.
4 Big Ten teams are in. That's a record for the Sweet 16. 3 ACC. Baylor out of the Big 12. 3 Pac-12 teams. A couple out of the SEC. And then 1 more spot to fill. Longhorns and Bruins.
And, you know, I talked to Kim Mulkey today, and she, you know, they had a huge win over Virginia Tech. She told me today that's one of the best defensive performances she's ever been a part of. That's how well they're playing and how good they are right now on the same side of the bracket as UConn.
We knew about Alyssa Smith, an All-American this year. Dee Dee Richards, National Defensive Player of the Year on a resume. We're getting to know Moon Urson, back-to-back 20-point performance and another scoring threat for the Lady Bears. And that may be the 4th personal foul right there on Warren, who for the 2nd time in the game is slow to get up. Are you surprised that Vic kept her in the game there with 3 fouls in that? And now she's picked up her 4th with over 12 minutes still to go.
No, he trusts her, Beth. She's her, as I mentioned earlier, she's the best on the defensive scout. She is the best at rotating. She's the best helper.
From the line, UCLA will follow it up with some full court pressure. course, the other big news today was the arrival of Gino Auriemma. He's back in town after he had to sit on the sideline for the first 2 games with COVID. I think Holly Rose got an update from UConn for us.
Yeah, Gino got into town today. He left Hartford around 7 a.m., had a nice private flight down here, got here at 11, and he went into the team meeting room, and they were so cute. They were so excited to see him. Ruffled up his very perfectly coiffed hair, and he did not mind at all. I know he's been dying to sit at home. I asked Paige Beckers about it, and she said, you know, sometimes he drives us crazy, but sometimes we drive him crazy, but we're really happy to have him back. We love his presence.
Happy belated birthday, too, to Coach Auriemma. I'm sure that was part of the celebration.
Well, sometimes you just have to pause and consider what they have done. So you go back to their first national championship in 1995. Look at this in the last 25 years. 11 championships, only 14 NCAA tournament losses. All those Final Fours, 6 championships were undefeated seasons. Just a remarkable run under his leadership.
No question about it. And on the same side as Baylor, on the same side of the bracket as NC State, and on the other side of the bracket is Stanford and Louisville and Maryland and South Carolina. So, you know, coming into this tournament, it is wide open. Those teams were the top 8 teams, and any of them can win this event. That's how balanced it is, and being on one site without having any home court advantage has been part of the reason why the coaches have enjoyed the competitiveness of being in the same place.
And Vic Schaefer does have a blueprint if it were to come down to it on how to beat Connecticut. Vic and Tara Vanderveer are the only 2 active coaches, Bill Fennelly of Iowa State, who just got knocked out, that have beaten Gino in the NCAA tournament, that have knocked out Connecticut. Everybody else is long gone from the tournament or already in retirement.
And we have a 12-point game, and UCLA is chopping away. Now you put some game pressure on Texas to make shots.
Celeste Taylor, no. Ebo, weak side rebound, gets him another possession. Vic says, back it up. Final minute of the 3rd quarter. Jumper is good. So Ebo gets him a second chance, and they cash in.
Yeah, Ebo has been terrific. Ebo has done a lot of things that might not show up on the stat. Now, right there, she's going to pick up a foul, I think. That's a good job by Osborne, attacking the hip.
I think they're going to charge Lambert with the foul. Nope, that'll be Ebo, her second. Lambert was the one that hit the deck.
Nobody hits the floor for Texas more than Audrey Warren. As a matter of fact, we're tracking it, and she's been on the floor 4 times already in the game, whether it's drawing a charge or getting knocked over by a screen. She's a tough competitor.
Look at the scrapes on her arms there, Debbie. They had to, of course, fix the tongue that she bit into in the first half. Blood on the back of her elbow as well. So scrappy, but out right now with the 4 personal fouls. Collier has returned for Texas, playing with 3.
Yeah, UCLA has to get a stop here. They're going to get the possession. They're going to get one more possession. At least one more. They might be able to get this thing to single digits going into the 4th quarter, and that will feel like a huge win for Corey Close's team in terms of momentum.
They were down 21 a minute into this 3rd quarter. Looking at 13. Collier, shot clock's winding down. She walked with it.
Good switch on that ball screen by UCLA.
But Schaefer says we need a stop to his troops.
I'm looking for this play for Osborne going downhill.
She's got the ball in her hands. Goes away from the screen and one on the drive. Downhill on the Black Diamond course for you, Debbie.
This is exactly what UCLA needed. Spins the defender around Lambert with contact off the glass.
Osborne coming alive in the third quarter, leading the way for the Bruins as they try and trim 11 points off of the deficit in the last 10 minutes. "12 of 14 from the line in this third quarter for the Bruins to make it a 10-point game.
And they haven't turned it over as much.
UCLA making a move in a fight for a spot in the Sweet 16, and when it's the only one left, it's all out all night for the Longhorns and the Bruins. 10 minutes to play. Field is almost set for the Women's Sweet 16. Our leading scorers tonight, Celeste Taylor and Michaela Onyenwere with 20. And what looked like a long shot at the half is within reach now for the Bruins. They have chopped the deficit in half. 10 minutes to play for the final spot in the Sweet 16 in a matchup with Maryland next weekend.
Every possession has to end on the defensive end with a rebound if you're UCLA. And all the detail, the angles, the screens, the spacing, important against this overplaying pressure Texas defense. They've done a better job in the third quarter to get it to 10.
A foul on the move by Osborne. That will be on Kyra Lambert. The Longhorns have not been able to get their All-American Charlie Collier going. In fact, just one basket on 2 shot attempts for Collier tonight. Number 35 in orange. Osborne, no.
Was it travel? And the official says she dribbled the ball.
I think the slamming of the ball on the deck was considered a dribble there. Shot clock's at 5. And that's going to be a blocking foul on Onyenwere. She was a step late and got underneath the shooter, and now Michaela will have to play the remainder of the game with 4 fouls.
I think if you establish legal guarding position, once your feet are set, you can adjust to protect yourself.
And Michaela will check out. So the leading scorer departs. And as we've talked about throughout that third quarter, Debbie, it now turns to Charisma Osborne. Taylor 2 of 2 at the free throw line, 20 points. Her career high is 24.
She has been fantastic. And she's got a lot of confidence right now. And she's the player that I talk about making shots under duress and when the game's on the line. I'm sure Vic Schaefer knows that she's the one that'll have the ball in her hands. He really trusts his guards. He is a big fan of what Joe and Celeste have done this year for his team.
Oh, Miller injured going for the rebound. Immediately reaches for the right knee. The 6'1" senior from Kirkland, Missouri.
You could see Michaela Onyenwere doesn't even want to look. Lauren Miller's 6'1" senior, Beth.
Oof. The knee buckled underneath her.
Yeah. That's a non-contact injury.
Well, the athletic trainers are out there assisting Lauren Miller. .7 rebounds in 27 minutes tonight. You know, it's a UCLA team that is already down to 7 scholarship players, absent 6 players from the roster due to opt-outs, injuries. They had a couple of Australians they were really high on, but due to the COVID protocols were unable to come over to the U.S. and get onto the UCLA campus. So they've had a small select group that has fought together through it all. They did not have a single pause all season long, this group. And a tough moment for the Bruins to watch Lauren Miller assisted off to the side. For the time being, Anya Nwede will continue to cheer from the side. You see, she's the only player over there in uniform. And a very short bench for the Bruins.
I don't know how much longer Corey Close can keep Anya Nwede on the bench with 4 fouls. I might consider putting her in for offensive possessions, Beth, and trying to protect her on the defensive end as much as you can. But you can't play zone right now against Texas. You got to stay in your man-to-man, and that might be a reason why you only put her in on offensive possessions.
She's got 8 of their baskets, Debbie. The rest of the team only has 5 buckets all night.
Here she comes.
And there she comes, off the bench to the top of your screen. Cho. Nice pick and roll off the window for Bessois.
You got to guard your own right here. You got to keep Texas in front. You have to contest. You got to rebound. And then you got to look to push and transition. Oh, great play.
You're blocked by Corsaro. And is that off of Texas, out of bounds?
Charlie Collier's got to catch that and finish. Vic Schaefer hasn't emptied out the weak side for Collier all game. He does it right here. What a defensive play by UCLA.
6-1 just blocked 6-5 to get the ball back for the Bruins. Anya Nwede going to work, does not get the roll, and it goes over to Texas.
Boy, Corey Close runs an ISO on the other end of the floor on the elbow for Anya Nwede. I mean, you're going to go man-to-man right here, Beth, and you might have to consider at some point, like, if you can trap or try to, you know, but you don't want to do that yet. You want to stay strong in your man-to-man principally and guard your scout.
They're going to count the basket and the foul. Let's see how they call this. It appeared to be off the ball underneath. Is this going to be basket and a possession? Oh, that might be a foul on Collier for discarding the UCLA player, and it is her 4th.
Play is under review.
Debbie, are they looking for I didn't notice a high elbow. Let's see. She grabbed her and threw her back.
It's not quite a hook and hold. It's more like a swim move to block out is what I would call it. And it looks to me like it's just a basketball play. I'm not sure there's anything there to see or upgrade.
The call on the floor stands.
Yeah, good job, Brenda Pantoja, Kevin Peffel, Carlina Tobin, our officials tonight. So Warren and Collier with 4 for Texas, Onyenwere with 4 for UCLA. It has been a frustrating night for Charlie. Just 5 points, only 2 shot attempts.
You know what, Beth?
Those were early.
Those are similar to the numbers that she's had in the 3 losses to Baylor this year.
Yeah.
So they could win right here without her having a big game, which they really haven't been able to do.
And if you're UCLA, you got to keep chipping away because you can't rely on your very spotty 3-point shooting. How about 0 for 12 tonight? And it's not something they've relied a whole lot on throughout the year.
Well, they do make 7 a game on the average.
Denied by Ebo and figures a way around her to get it up and in.
I think Vic Schaefer has had success with this smaller lineup on the floor against UCLA.
Dribbled off the foot of Taylor.
Delicious turnover.
Career high with 24 tonight, Debbie, as you see Miller heading back to the UCLA locker room after the apparent knee injury. Osborne, they are 0 for 13, and I think they might get Ebo with a push underneath.
Well, keep an eye on the team fouls, too, because there's only 1 team foul for UCLA, and that could be a factor if they can get this into a little bit closer, like a 3-possession, 4-possession game. It's actually at 4 right now.
Have not been able to make the plays to get this down into single digits, and wild pass from Osborne out of control.
The rest of this game, low man wins. And what I mean by that is you got to play the game low to high. You have to, if you're Texas, you got to be strong with the ball. You got to pivot. You know that UCLA is trying to create a play like that right there. A foul on Taylor.
This was not called by the official right there in front. It was called by the official on the backside.
Corsaro did a great job of moving her feet. Fresh 30 on the shot clock. New possession.
Yeah, Vic Schaefer wasn't quite sure the proximity of the official that blew the whistle on that one. UCLA will take it and run with it. Bessois wraps it around, and as a result, the Bruins get 2 more.
3 stops, 3 scores. That's the way you got to think if you're UCLA. In Texas, you've got to stay aggressive and continue to attack.
Tried to get the trap. Oh, and they almost had the steal there. Let's see who the foul's on. It's on Alan Taylor. No, it's on Bessois, her 3rd. This is Alan Taylor, the other 11. Oh, Alan Taylor down on the deck to keep it alive, and then possession arrow favors UCLA, and so here we go. The Bruins can get it down into single digits. 5:05 to go. Down 21 early in this second half. They have not been able to get it down into single digits of yet.
Oh, 13. From, as you said, from the three-point line, for a team that averages 7, the 3 has got to fall at some point.
Osborne high off the glass. Bessois, another big offensive rebound. No, and Ebo clears. And a foul on the floor will be against Texas. 10-point game, 4:41 to play. Rewarding performance brought to you by Capital One. Tying her career high is Celeste Taylor. Debbie.
24 points, a couple of triples. She's made all her free throws. She's got 5 rebounds to go along with it. And she's made some pressure shots here for Texas in the second half.
The Capital One rewarding performance. Will it be enough to get Texas through to the Sweet 16? 10-point lead, 4:41 to go. Warren and Collier with 4 fouls apiece for Texas. Collier stays out. Warren is back in. Onyenwere with her 22 points and 4 fouls at the free throw line here for the Bruins. A missed opportunity to drop this into single digits.
Expect full court pressure here if you're Texas.
And here it comes after the make.
You got to keep them from getting the ball across midcourt. Almost. Looking for the 10-second call there.
Yeah.
That would be one way to get an extra possession.
Almost had it.
3 stops, Beth. 3 scores for UCLA.
In a 9-point game. Looking for the steal there. Warren able to keep it alive. They're going to have to hustle to get one up. An open look for 3. Got it!
That is a big bucket for Texas.
Alan Taylor with the open look to beat the shot clock buzzer. Under 4 minutes to go.
No panic by Texas. Warren doing a good job of finding the open shooter.
Cho, still no triples for UCLA today. 0 of 14. Alan Taylor. Foul and a bump, and that's it for Onyenwere. She's fouled out of the game with 3:23 to go. The Bruins All-American is done. Valiant effort by Michaela, 23 points. For the senior from Aurora, California.
You could hear her teammates saying, don't foul, slide your feet. And Vic Schaefer with a small lineup goes to that dribble drive, and that is tough to defend. Smart play by Texas.
First time all season the All-American has fouled out. Moved into the top 5 scoring all-time at UCLA tonight. And now looking for some pickup from her teammates. Bessois will take it coast to coast. Lambert fouled out top by Osborne. That's the 4th on UCLA. The next would put Texas on the line. Kyra Lambert a San Antonio native. Ball in her hands at a Samuel Clemens High School. Drops it off inside to Ebo, who may just be the MVP of the night for Texas.
She's got my vote. It might not show up in the stat sheet, everything that she's done with 7 points and 6 rebounds. It's her screening, it's her effort away from the ball on both ends of the floor.
Osborne. And a quick timeout for UCLA. They'll have a couple left. In a 10-point game, 2:19 to go. Gary Blair, they won on a buzzer beater from Jordan Nixon today.
I've had Texas Tech in my AP poll in the top 10 all season. I think
A&M?
Fantastic. A&M, yes.
Yep. We've got a 10-point game approaching 2 minutes. UCLA, a Sisyphean chore to try and keep pushing this thing uphill, and it just keeps rolling back down on them. Down by 21. They've been right here at 10 on several occasions. Down to 9 once, but Texas keeps doing things like that. Kyra Lambert.
Eat up the entire 30 seconds. No panic. Very good offensive maturity.
Osborne hits the first 3 of the game. After missing 14, UCLA. 3-possession game, minute and a half.
Here comes the trap.
Vic Schaefer just calls out her name. Kyra, come get it. Take care of it. Protect it for us. Make some free throws for us down the stretch.
But if you're going to foul, there's 9 seconds on the shot clock. Lambert's a 70% free throw shooter. If I was going to foul in that possession, I would have gone for a trap or something to be a little bit more high risk to hope to get the reward and then foul. Otherwise, with 9 seconds, I would have played that one out defensively.
No Michaela Onyenwere available for UCLA. She is fouled out. Audrey Warren is playing with 4 fouls for Texas. Charlie Collier has 4 fouls for the Longhorns, but it looks, Debbie, like Vic Schaefer likes this lineup. He's keeping Charlie on the side.
I'm telling you, the small lineup with Ebo has been fantastic.
Third opportunity for UCLA and a foul.
I mean, it has just not been UCLA's offensive game. And part of that is Texas not only turns you over, they speed you up. They do not let you get comfortable on the offensive end. And I can't even remember a possession of defense for Vic Schaefer's team where UCLA has felt comfortable offensively. He's got to be really proud of that effort on the defensive end.
Yep. Missed opportunity there for UCLA. Dominique Darius, the freshman, misses both. Bessois cleans it up. We will quickly foul. 57 seconds to play. And if the Horns can knock down their freebies, they are moving on. A big if. With this kind of pressure, the last spot left for the Sweet 16. Lambert, who's overcome 2 years of injuries in her career, a transfer after picking up a couple of degrees at Duke.
Well, Vic Schaefer raves about her attitude, what she's brought, her maturity, how much he wishes he could coach her longer. Had her at the beginning.
For the love of the game, you keep coming back, you keep rehabbing, keep hitting the practice floor, keep tracking down loose balls. She'll take a hit and get up and head back to the free throw line.
Third personal foul.
So again, look at some of the crooked numbers there, Debbie. A 6 seed Oregon, an upset winner. The 5 seed Georgia Tech, an upset winner. Texas trying to upset UCLA, the 3 seed here. All number ones still alive.
ACC with the top 3 teams all season remaining with NC State, Louisville, and Georgia Tech.
On the other side of the bracket, the 6 seed Michigan trying to make some noise in for the first time. And Monian Weddy can only look on and hope their teammates can pull out a miracle to extend her collegiate career. 23 points in the DQ tonight.
The emotion of it all starts to hit you as the clock ticks down.
Of course, for UCLA, you can stay alive if you can score with the clock stopped.
Well, I'm sure Coach Schaefer's going to burn one of his 4 timeouts he has remaining to advance the ball. And sometimes you like to take advantage of the full court.
Yeah. Lambert weaving. Draws the foul. She's 5 of 6 from the line. A double-double for her with 15 points and 10 rebounds.
Just letting his team reminding them that on defense they'll switch every screen. Don't give up a 3. Don't foul. We have a timeout. We have 4 timeouts if we get stuck.
They're trying to win this thing essentially without Charlie Collier today, who has played 26 minutes, just 5 points on 3 field goal attempts. So the rest of the team picked it up. The defensive effort, Debbie, that held UCLA to 14 first-half points, they're going to need a whole lot of that against a Maryland team averaging 99 per game in the tournament. Timeout, Bruins. They'll have 1 left.
Frustration of Corey Close trying to tell the official, I was telling you I wanted a timeout to advance the ball. And as an official, you have to anticipate that. You need to be paying attention to the coaches and know that that could happen. That's the frustration that you see Coach Close discussing that with the officials. That's the benefit of not having fans in the arena, that we can hear all those things. That's the only benefit. Otherwise, I miss the fans being in the arena.
Yeah.
And there will be some fans in the arena for the Sweet 16 in the Alamo Dome. The percentage is around 17%, counting the players and the staffs.
Lambert has hit the deck on more than one occasion here in the final minute.
It's been a physical game.
That is the 40th foul of the game, 20 on either side. Holly?
Her resilience and how she's come back from those 2 ACL tears. And I asked her, was there ever a point you thought about giving up and just quitting basketball altogether? And she said, yes. After my 3rd surgery, I thought maybe it's not worth it, but it's in my heart. It's what I love. And here she is in this critical moment in a place that she's from, leading her team possibly to the Sweet 16. Good thing she didn't give up.
Yeah, well, that kind of attitude will serve her well in her future endeavors. She wants to be a coach.
She's a part of the WBCA Want to Be a Coach program.
Cho. Beswa.
Tough offensive game for UCLA.
Yeah, they ended up just 1 of 19 from three-point range, 38% shooting. It's Lauren Miller, the other senior there, head in her towel, went out with the injury earlier in the game. And that will do it. The upset for Texas as the 6th seed ousts the 3 seed UCLA. And our Sweet 16 is set Vic Schaefer down to his knees. Longhorns advance. Points, Celeste Taylor. Lauren Ebo, an absolute stud off the bench, ended up playing 30 minutes. Lambert with 17 and clutch free throw shooting and ball handling down the stretch. (71-62) Texas, a winner over UCLA as we wrap up the second round. Maryland, Oregon, Missouri State all celebrating. Indiana's headed to the Sweet 16. So is Louisville with a phenomenal comeback. The buzzer beater, Texas A&M advances. And onward we go next weekend to the Sweet 16 in San Antonio.